Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Wanted to share with you a headline that I happened to come across today. Veterans with a disability can take advantage of these 5 benefits in the U.S. I wanted to share those with you today. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. The 2 asks, right, are hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I really appreciate all of you subscribers and all of you members. Thank you so much. All right, so let's jump into it. Having a disability may prevent you from working or getting a decent salary. So let's explore the possible benefits veterans have in the U.S. We're going to see if we can pick out any nuggets along the way here or shine a light on anything that they're talking about. So, jumping into the article, veterans can benefit from home, health, and monthly benefits in the United States. For example, the VA Home Loan Program. This loan program can help veterans buy a home with a guaranteed percentage of the loan for a down payment. Claimsbenefits.gov. So really, it's a 0% down payment loan. If you want that to be, you can always put money down, but there's not a requirement for a down payment. Moving on, buying a house is not something cheap, so any benefits or money will come in handy. What is more, if you have a disability, you can also take advantage of the veterans' compensation for service-connected disabilities. I'll also throw in, back to the home loan piece, that if you are a disabled veteran, they will waive the VA funding fee, which will by far be the biggest fee that you will incur when you are buying a house using the VA home loan. So having a disability is a very important piece of that process. Moving on, this program can give you monthly payments. They're talking about the disability compensation now. So this program can give you monthly payments. Do not forget that they are tax-free, so they are even more advantageous. Your payment will be higher or lower depending on the degree of your disability. And then there's a check your eligibility here, and it drives you to the VA's website. So again, when it comes to VA disability compensation, remember that it is 3 pillars, is what I like to call it, in regard to getting a successful claim. You have to have your time in service. That gives you that window. Number 2 is you must have a diagnosed condition that is chronic in nature or has some sort of residual effects. It has to be some kind of an ongoing problem. That's number 2. Number 3 is you must have a nexus, a link between the condition and your time in service. Now, the VA is not solely focused on show me that the military caused this problem. They're more general. They're more about show me that this problem, this condition, manifested during your time in service or is the result of your time in service. This is really important distinction between show me the military caused it or show me that it manifested during my time in service or as a result of my time in service. The latter is way more encompassing. So this would include things like migraine headaches, GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Maybe you have some arthritis that started to build up in your back. Whatever. So anything that is diagnosable that you can trace back to manifesting or is a result of your time in service, you can potentially get service connected. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head to be exact, but the payments would be anywhere between about $170 a month all the way to around $4,000 a month or more, depending on your dependent situation. If you have a spouse and 17 kids, you're going to have a much higher amount than if you had just yourself. So let's move on here. And one more thing. I want to go back to that home loan one that they talked about. The home loan piece, if you are not a service-connected disabled veteran, right? And I hate that they call it disabled because it infers physical conditions are the only way you can get there. But regardless, if you do not have a service connection with the VA and you are looking to buy or refinance or whatever your house with a VA home loan, file an intent to file with the VA. You can do that online or you can call the VA directly and let them know that you'd like to start an intent to file. That gives you 12 months to file a claim for anything. Maybe it's your migraines, maybe it's your GERD, maybe it's your tinnitus currently, some ringing in the ears, maybe it's a back issue, whatever it is. It gives you 12 months to get all of your stuff together to file that claim. If you do it within the 12-month period, they will utilize the date of that intent to file as your effective date. So that's important, because if you file an intent to file, then you close escrow, right, on your refinance or your purchase, then you get awarded your VA disability and they back pay you to prior to your closing date, then you can get with your lender and get that VA funding fee refunded, which is very important, because now you were effectively a disabled veteran when you did that loan. Important piece. All right, so let's jump into number 3 here on this list. Number 3 on this list is Veterans Pension Program. This is a great program, and it is not about retirement. The VA pension benefit is what I call a safety net benefit. It is a safety net for low and no income veterans who served during wartime and their surviving spouses. You didn't need to serve in a war, but you had to serve during a war period. Well, because let's be frank, you don't really get to decide where you go. If you joined during the middle of Vietnam, but you never went to Vietnam, it wasn't your decision. They said, we need you here to do whatever. So you didn't really get control on that. So the way the VA pension works is, again, you have to be a wartime veteran, and there's some qualifiers, whatever. That's not this video. This is more of a highlight. So this goes on to say, Veterans Pension Program, apart from the VA home loan and veterans compensation for service-connected disabilities, you could apply for the Veterans Pension Program. In fact, this benefit can help you if you do not have a service-connected disability. It is an income-based program for low and no income veterans and surviving spouses. Moving on, health is another costly issue in the United States. The best thing is that all veterans who are enrolled can benefit from the basic medical benefits package for veterans. So very important. But what does the basic medical benefits package for veterans offer? As a matter of fact, it gives beneficiaries preventative services, specialty care, primary care, and sometimes dental care, which is a whole other video on dental. Moving on to the next one here, Caregiver Programs and Services Benefits. So last but not least, Caregiver Program. Now, before I jump into it, the healthcare piece, which was just before this, there are several different avenues in which you can get enrolled into VA healthcare. Several different qualifiers. One is if you're on pension, you meet the low or no income means testing, which brings you into healthcare. If you are a service-connected veteran, that brings you into healthcare. If you're a Vietnam veteran, I believe that brings you into healthcare. If you're a Purple Heart recipient, if you're a former prisoner of war, those are things that can bring you into the healthcare. By far, the biggest doorway into VA healthcare is service-connected disability. So if you are a veteran with a service-connected disability, that opens the door to VA healthcare, and that is by far the biggest doorway into the healthcare system. All right, so caregiver programs and service benefits. So last but not least, caregiver programs and services are also a possibility. So both veterans and their families can get support. On the one hand, it can give them a monthly stipend. If you need to travel because you're undergoing care, you will get support for travel expenses. You get that travel reimbursement. Healthcare benefits may be available if the veteran cannot get any other. So that's also something that is good. Counseling and mental health services can be obtained too. Respite care is something eligible veterans can benefit from. Easter Seals may offer comprehensive VA caregiver training if eligible as well. As a bonus tip, explore SNAP and SSI. That would be for the low and no income veterans if you need more financial support. I'm going to throw in that as far as I know, every state has this. I could be wrong. You will have the veterans' homes throughout the state. These homes are basically care facilities, anything from skilled nursing to memory care, that type of stuff for disabled veterans in the state. These are ran by the states, not by the federal government. So they are state-ran homes. There's also VA, federal ones as well, but these ones are actually ran by the states. Every state has some, as far as I know, at least one. But the big states like California, Texas, and Florida, which are your big three states for veteran population, have 8, 9 homes in each of them. So that is also a great benefit out there if you are not aware of it. So with that, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.